All right, guys, I'm going to make a bold claim in this video that for the first time in human history, you can turn your ideas into usable products. First time in human history, okay? Maybe that's false, but from my understanding, the way I see things are going, this is actually the case, okay? And that is a big deal. That has big implications. So I'm going to explain what I mean through example. So I'm not just talking at you guys. So first of all, I'm a very ideas type person. You know, I've been a dreamer for the past 10 years. I think a lot. I do philosophy. I journal a lot. I have a commonplace book. You know, I'm intellectual. I'm heady, but I always had a problem turning my ideas into products, because you know I'm too much in the ideas realm, right? But now that's changing. You know, before that was looked down upon, but now that's like it's like a benefit to be that. So, what do I mean by that? So I made this app. Okay, this app is like Jungle Scout. If you guys are not familiar with the e-commerce world, there's different softwares that help e-commerce sellers, you know, essentially become successful business owners with e-commerce. You know, each tool here is meant to make more money. So I made this software, and again, I'm not a developer. I'm not good at programming, right? But I've built this with, again, this software, lovable.dev. And, you know, just to show you kind of what I mean, how do I move this? Okay. Yeah, so, you know, Amazon sellers, they need product discovery. So I might search guitar, and, you know, maybe I need to find products to sell, right? So, okay, that's a product idea right there. Electric guitar. I might want to look into that, you know. And then here I get products that have high monthly revenue, you know, high sales, and it's low competition, as it's shown here under 150 reviews, right? So I'm instantly shown highly valuable products, and I'm pretty proud of myself that I made this. Considering like I don't program it, I don't know how to program. I just did this by myself. And it did take me 2 months, which I'm a little bummed out about. But I feel like I got a lot done in those 2 months, which I didn't think was possible. I didn't think I could even make such a software. I didn't even think it's possible. You know, I've known about softwares like these for, you know, 8 years now, and I didn't think I could make something like this. And the reason I'm showing you is not to brag. I want to show you that you can literally, the point of this video is you can turn your ideas into products. Okay, if I could do this, you could do this too. And this is just the start. Okay, what this software is capable of, lovable.dev, and I'm not trying to promote this software. I'm just saying we're in a new time in history. Okay, there are 3 types of products, from my understanding on a high level: physical products, digital products, and code. Now, I am an Amazon seller. I've been selling for 10 years. But to turn those ideas into products is really hard. If I get a new product idea, I need to, you know, reach out to a supplier. The supplier might take a long time to send it over or make the product and stuff. So there's a long, and then I have a lot of ideas for those products, right? Like if I want to sell a guitar, but I want to make the guitar a new color and like have 8 strings, and I can't do that. I mean, it's hard to do that, to manufacture such a product. But in this case, you just let your mind run wild, right? You let your mind run wild to come up with all kinds of ideas. You can literally do anything now in terms of what you want to make. But then you bring your mind back to reality after you've come up with all those ideas. You ground yourself back in reality, and then you make something practical, like you know, a software that helps people in non-crazy ways. You know, this is a pretty grounded software, but you can turn these ideas, you can come up with new ideas, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you know, I can essentially do this kind of niche analysis in this feature that I don't see other e-commerce sellers, e-commerce platforms offering. And I came up with that because I'm being creative. And the point is, you can turn that creativity into products. And so, yeah, I think this is the first time in human history. Now, again, there are other softwares. There's other softwares that can do this too. So let's take ChatGPT, for example. Okay. Why is lovable.dev different from all these platforms? ChatGPT can write code. and you can turn your ideas into functionality. But I wouldn't go as far as saying you can turn your ideas into products with ChatGPT. Now that's a huge difference. Okay, I can go into ChatGPT and write me a software that does this, and it will do that. Write the code. I have to place that code somewhere, and then it's not a full product yet. It's not connected to a database. Nothing. Like it doesn't have the other files that I have to figure out. But with lovable.dev, just to give you a quick understanding, this is the front end. It writes code in JavaScript. It connects to the database. It's called Superbase. It connects it. So it's a full stack engineer where it creates the front end and the back end. And with a ChatGPT like interface, like right here where my face is covering it, you can write the code for the front end and the back end. You can write over the database. And excuse my possible misunderstandings of those details, but my point is, like, I'm not a techie like that, and I can still do this, yeah, again, there was no software that could do this. ChatGPT still can't do this, no matter how great ChatGPT is. It can't do what lovable.dev is doing. And while getting into this 3 months ago, while getting to lovable.dev, I saw someone who did an analysis of Bolt versus Replit versus Lovable, and from my understanding that Bolt and Replit is not a full stack engineer. I may be wrong about that. It might have changed, but from my understanding, lovable.dev is the only full stack software engineer that does front end and back end, and that's what you need for a full app. Essentially, what I'm saying is all the blocks are removed, all the obstacles are removed. If you don't know programming, you can overcome every obstacle with lovable.dev to make it, and then ChatGPT to help at times with creating the apps. Okay. And so my point is that not only is it the first full stack software engineer, it is a sense a team of programmers who are top-notch programmers who are all integrated because they know, like, when I write software in here, it knows what I wrote a long time ago. It knows everything that's going on in the project, and it could pull from there. It could rewrite certain codes in different files and stuff. Everything is here, right? And so again, not only is it the first full stack software engineer, it happens to be really good. It could have been bad and the first, but it happens to be the first, and it happens to be really good, right? I am able to solve every bug, and I'm almost ready for launch. This took me 2 months, but 2 months. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes a bug I recently spent 3 days on a bug with ChatGPT and Lovable, but the point is you can overcome it, right? And you can create industry competing software. So I would say the software that I'm creating is on the level of some of the top softwares in the e-commerce space. Okay, I might just be in my head about that. I'm not. That's not the point of the video. I'm not here to brag about this. It's hard not to. It's hard to talk about it without saying the impact of this new software that is lovable, but anyways, yeah. So another point I wanted to make is that imagine you're Leonardo da Vinci. Now, if you don't know any history about Leonardo da Vinci, back in his time, he would have a commonplace book. It's essentially a notebook of any ideas he came across. I believe if he came across a leaf and he found it interesting, he'd put it in his commonplace book. And so he was the typical ideas guy. He'd draft up plans for different inventions across various fields. And there are people like that. I am a creative-minded person. I like to come up with ideas and write in my commonplace book. Of course, I'm nowhere as close to as smart as Leonardo da Vinci. But my point is, there are many dreamers out there. There's many creative-minded people who do not know how to make a product. But now you have this AI software that makes that product. And what I mean is it's the first software that can create usable products, right? I don't consider a book that ChatGPT can write a usable product. What I mean by usable is you can go and use it, you can interact with it, right? Versus just reading it. And I don't think ChatGPT comes up with great books, even though it's known to write well. I don't think it writes well in that sense. I think it will get to that point where it can write world-class books, but we're not there yet. But I do think right now it can create world-class softwares. There are people creating way better things than what I did with Lovable. So my point of this video is just to show you the time in human history that we're at right now. And maybe you use Lovable or not, but I want to show you that there's a new opportunity that just opened up. Code is infinite, okay? You can do almost anything with code. You can impact all kinds of industries with code. And I'll just leave you with, one last framework. Programming has, from my understanding, has mostly been left-brained. And what I mean by that is it's very heady, right? Not heady, it's very logical, and it's very tutorials oriented. How do you fix this bug? How do you, it's too focused on the code, right? But, and so that is this right here, left brain. If you just focus on programming, it's naturally left brain. I tried programming in the past. I saw myself getting hyper logical, right? Then you enter software architecture, right? There are product managers and there's software architects and all that kind of stuff. That is more right brain. So you start here where you're very left brain. Then you go here. It's somewhat more right brained, but still left brain because you're still in that programming space. Okay. And then you enter here, idea outlines and commonplace book, which is what I'm describing with Leonardo Da Vinci. I have always been here for the past 10 years, and I know there's a lot of people like me who just love to dream and create ideas in their heads, right? That's commonplace book, where you write ideas in notebooks and you listen to a lot of different perspectives, and you like understanding the world and doing philosophy and all that kind of stuff, coming up with ideas. If you've always been this, now you have ChatGPT to come up with a software architecture to hand over to lovable.dev right here to do the programming. And so you outsource the programming, the left-brained programming. You outsource the software architecture to a high degree to ChatGPT, and you focus on this. And now it's all about your vision and your ideas. And that's what I want to leave you with, is that with your vision and ideas, you can outsource the rest to create usable products. And that's a beautiful time to be in human history. So, I'll leave you with that.